Every time, I'm sorry. Do I want to start seated? I feel like I'm forgetting something. We'll start seated. I feel like if we're lucky as well, my little plant leaf is gonna do the thing. It's like it's on its way, it's popping out. It's gonna be exciting. Anyway, starting with some half roll downs to warm up and wake up the spine and to get those tummy muscles awake. I'm trying out a new angle. I hope it works out. If you have any bad feedback afterwards, I do appreciate it. So hopefully you can see things nice and clearly. So we're holding gently onto the backs of the knees, tuck the tailbone around the spine, lean back, curling through the pelvis, curling over the pelvis, and then rolling back up to seated, rocking onto the sit bones, shoulders roll back and down, lengthening up right through the spine. 5 of these. Tuck the tailbone, round it out for 2. And inhale, lift, roll it back. Round out for 3. Inhale, lift. Round out for 4. Inhale, lift. And last one, round out for 5. Inhale, lift. Extend the arms, tuck the tailbone, round it all the way down onto your back. Knees bent, feet flat, hands behind the back of the head, setting up for some crunches. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lift the head and shoulders up. And inhale to come down. Chest lifts. Up we go. For 2. Inhale down. Lift for 3. Inhale down. And 4. And down. Wide elbows. 5 out of 10. 6. 7. 8. 9. Last one, lift and hold it up for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll down. Cross right ankle over left knee into a sort of figure 4 shape. We're going to lift head and shoulders up into your crunch and then rotate left elbow to right knee. Keep the elbows nice and wide, so rotating from the tummy muscles, coming back to center and down. Lift and twist to the knee. And down. 1. Excellent. Lift. Inhale, center. 2. Exhale, lift. Inhale, center. 3. And 4. And 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And again, on this last one, we lift, hold that twist, rotating over to the right. We hold it up, keep the right knee open and relaxed. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center, all the way down, switching sides, right foot down, left leg crosses, ankle over knee. Setting up for right elbow to left knee. Breath in to prepare. As you exhale, lift and rotate, elbow across and center. Exhale, squeeze 2 and center. Exhale, squeeze 3. Lift and squeeze 4. Getting both shoulder blades off the ground. 5. Get that height. Steady stillness through the left leg. 6. 7. 8. 2 more. 9. Last one, lift, twist, hold for 10. 9, 8, little higher. 7, come on. 6, squeeze. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Arms down next to the body, knees up to tabletop, shins parallel to the ground. Squeezing the belly button to lower the lower back down towards the floor so we keep that connection. Without rolling the hips from side to side, we reach to tap the right toes down, lift the right leg up, left leg taps, and lift. Just bent knee toe taps for 8. 7, head and shoulders stay down on the ground initially. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep the legs lifted, shins parallel, interlace the fingers behind the head. Breath in. Exhale, lift the head and shoulders up. We hold our chest lift crunch and we go 10 more. Go reach and tap for 10. Alternating. 9, abs on fire. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax knees to chest, wrap the arms around the knees. That last little fiery piece for the abs in this sequencey series. Knees up to tabletop, arms alongside the body. Take a breath in as you exhale, lift the head, shoulders up, and we come into our 100s. So shins perpendicular, and we pulse the arms and breathe. We inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Get the power in the arms. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Halfway. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more cycles. Here we go. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. And exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Release, knees to chest. Give it a squeeze. And release, placing the feet back down on the ground. Arms alongside the body, palms facing the floor. Let's bring those heels in nice and close to the bum. Slippery socks on a slippery mat. We tuck the tailbone, scooping into the lower abdominals and peel the spine up off the ground into our glute bridge, pelvic curl. And then we roll the spine back down one vertebra at a time, squeezing into those lower abdominals and untucking the pelvis at the very bottom. Lower back presses into the floor, tailbone peels up and away. We're doing 10 curl-ups. Lift as high as you can, squeezing the bum, and then roll all the way back down. 2 out of 10. Roll it up, squeeze up high, and roll it down for 3. Roll it up. Keep the ribs drawing down into the belly, and roll down 4. Curl it up. Squeeze, connect it down, 5 like a string of pearls. Keep the knees in line with the hips, float for 6, and curl it down. Roll up for 7, and down, 3 more, 8, and down, 9, and down. And on the last one, we're going to lift and hold it up. Squeeze the hips up nice and high. We're going to add some calf raises. So as those glutes are squeezing the bum up high to the sky, we're going to float the heels up and then lower the heels down. For 1, and squeeze, and lower. 2, squeeze, lower. 3 with control, and 4 all the way to 15. 5, extra long hold on that glute bridge. 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 more. Tummy stabilizes the spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last 1. And roll the spine back down to the ground. Straighten the right leg. I'm going to rotate that right thigh so the inner thigh is facing up to the side and the knee is pointing outwards towards the side. The toes are pointing along, and then going to squeeze the abs as the lower back is flat to the floor, but both hip bones are also evenly pressing into the ground as well. So you're not twisting the pelvis, but rather keeping that torso straight and stable. We're going to lift that right leg up, inner ankle to the ceiling, and then lower the leg down just to hover. And lift for 2, and hover. Lift for 3, and reach long through the toes. Lift for 4, and reach. Lift for 5, straighten knee. Squeeze the quads. 6, 7, 3 more, 8, 9, double check that left knee is upright. Last one, 10, hover that right leg just above the floor so it still stays straight. Left leg is relaxed, but staying pointing up towards the sky. We take the right foot off to the right-hand side and then slide it back to the middle. Drift it out to the right and back to the middle. 2, and drift, and 3, drift, 4, keeping that left leg steady, and 5, all the stability comes from the tummy. 6, notice how that other knee wants to compensate. 7, right leg off to the right and then back to the middle. 8, off to the right and back to the middle. 9, off to the right and back to the middle. 10, keep the leg floating, right arm next to the body, left hand behind the head. We're going to crunch left elbow to right knee crunches into left elbow, and then stretch it out. So it's like a half a bicycle crunch. Good. Crunch it in, elbow to knee, and stretch for 2. And lift and twist. And 3, feel all those hip muscles working. And 4, those front hip muscles on fire. And 5, good fire. And 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And relax. Left arm back down next to you. We're actually going to bring your right knee in. So we're coming into single leg glute bridges on the left foot. And you can either keep your right leg elevated, or if you want to try something a little bit different, you can interlace the fingers around that right knee and keep the knee pulled tight towards your chest. It changes the dynamic of your glute bridge quite a bit, and it forces you into that posterior pelvic tilt. So it kind of helps to protect your lower back, but makes the balance a little bit more challenging as well. So see if it works for you. So we have the left foot on the ground, right knee to chest, and we're holding that right knee there with both hands. Or maybe just with one hand if you need the other hand to balance, which is also fine. So taking a breath in, as you exhale, press the left foot through the ground to lift the bum up high, and then lower the bum down. Again, trying to keep the bum coming down evenly on both bums. Lift for 2, driving through that left heel, and lower down. Lift for 3, and lower. Lift for 4, and lower. And 5 out of 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, hold it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the bum, straighten the left leg, lift the head and shoulders to take your nose towards this right knee. Get that little squeeze. And then we're going to float the left leg up off the ground. Reach the arms long parallel to the floor. Try and keep your nose to your knee and your knee to your nose in this little squeezy crunch. Like one little element of the bicycle. We're going to hold here for 10, 9, no hands, 8, yes, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop everything down, right foot to the floor, left leg stays straight. We're going to rotate the left leg out to the side, tighten the tummy to flatten the back, and we repeat the whole sequence over on the other side. Lifting up through that left inner thighs, you point the toes, lift the leg, and lower, keeping the back flat. And lift for 2, and reach it long. Lift for 3, and reach. Lift for 4, and reach. And 5, and 6, 7, keep breathing. 8, 9, and 10. Keep the leg reaching long, hovering just above the ground, and keep it rotated outwards. Both hip bones stay on the floor. Left leg swings off to the left and back to center. Swings off to the left and back to center. Find that drift. For 2, right knee stays in line with the right hip. 3, no drifting of the right leg. 4, keep it upright. Left leg swings out. 5, 6, tight tummy to keep the pelvis even on the floor. 7, 8, 9, And last one, 10. Keep it floating, right hand behind the head, left arm next to the body. We crunch the knee in, twist the right elbow to the left knee, and then stretch it out for 1. And crunch it and lift the shoulders, and 2. And crunch, squeeze, 3, and cross, 4. Exhale, squeeze for 5, and squeeze for 6. 7, just to hover, and 8, 2 more, and 9, nearly there, and 10. Relax head and shoulders, bring the left knee to chest, interlace the fingers around the knee, so we can come into our single leg glute bridge with the knee tucked in, maintaining that posterior pelvic tilt. We press the right foot down through the ground, keep the left leg hugging in towards you, and then tap the bum down. So we're holding onto the left knee. Lift the bum up and lower for 2. Lift and lower 3. Lift, lower 4. Perfect. Lift and 5. Lift and 6. 7. 8. 9, last one, hold it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the bum, straighten the right leg, lift the head nose to knee, and then we float the right leg up, reach the arms long, parallel to the floor, reaching the hands towards that extended leg, head and shoulders float up, and we hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Stretch everything out, arms overhead, legs out long. Point the toes, slide legs down the spine. Space for your breath. And then we're going to roll over onto the side. I'm going to be brave, bold, and say any side is fine. So we're going to extend the bottom arm out in front of you. Top hand behind the head. If you need assistance with the balance, you can bend the bottom leg. It helps with the balance better. But if you can keep both legs straight, that is gold. We're going to crunch top elbow to top knee. So we're squeezing elbow to knee and then reaching it out long. Perfect. And just hovering it out. Great. And we lift. The higher you go, the harder your work. 2. Coming down with control. Exhale, lift. Inhale, reach. 3. Exhale, lift. Inhale, reach. 4. 5. Crunching into that side waist. 6. 7. 8. 9. Last one. And 10. Bend both knees forward. Take the top arm behind you into a open book stretch, just staying in that position, because we're going to level up that same exercise in a moment. So top arm, creating a capital T shape with the arms. So how that top arm is stretching out behind you, back of the shoulder to the floor. There we go, perfect. Coming back to the front, still staying on the same side, legs straighten out, unless you need that bottom leg bent, totally fine. Bottom arm out in front of you, top hand behind the head. Or, so you can either repeat the same exercise with bent elbow to bent knee, or you can straighten the top arm and lift hands to foot with a straight leg as well. So the more you lift that bottom body off the floor, the more you're going to work as well. So we don't want to just go arm and leg, but rather get that full elevation, torso lifting off the ground. Yes, get that height. And then coming all the way back down. Yes, good. And that's why the bottom arm is there, to kind of help you cheat just a little bit. So just quick note on that. If it is helping you cheat, getting up is fine. Just use it way less on the way down, and you'll have to use the muscles in the waist. So you're cheating on the way up, but working harder on the way down because you have a nice big range of motion. So you get to choose how much you cheat and how hard you're working. Okay, so we reach the top arm long and overhead, or hand behind the head, up to you. Exhale to lift, touch the toe, reaching, get it to squeeze, and lower down for 1. Exhale, lift, inhale down, 2, and lift, 3, lift, 4, 5, 6, 7, thank goodness I spoke so much, gave you that rest, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Bring the knees in, open book, stretch the arms out, so you can rest the head on the floor as well. And if you want to rock your neck from side to side, that can also help. So those arms are stretched and spread out, capital T shape. And the neck releases as you roll it from side to side. Releasing your twist, making your way over onto your other side. Swing the legs around. Ready for side number 2. So bottom arm is straight out in front of you, top hands behind the head, legs are long, legs are long and pointing. You need to bend the bottom knee to help you balance, totally fine. We lift elbow to knee and stretch it out to hover. Good, 1. Lifting up as high as you're comfortable and lower down with control, 2. And lift, 3, lift, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bend both knees forward, arms out to open the book, shoulders to the floor, expansion across the chest, keeping the knees down, rocking the head from side to side if the neck is taking a little strain. Move how it feels good to relax and release any tension. Close it off, straighten the legs. You can take the top hand behind the head. So even here, you can go top hand and elbow to straight leg is fine, but you're welcome to do the straight arm to toe as well. Gets a little extra reach, so you get a little extra abdominal squeeze. Breath in as you exhale, lift hand to toe and lower. 1, and lift, 2, perfect. Float down with control. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Knees bent, open books. And then rolling all the way flat into your tummy. Great. Elbows draw down towards your waist, but keep the elbow or keep the hands a little bit off the mat. Or off the mat, yes. So you've got a nice wide V in each elbow, making it a double V, W. Okay, we're going to float the so we're going to keep the forearms parallel to the floor, keep the head on the ground. We're just going to lift the forearms off the floor and then lower them back down evenly. So just the arms, head stays down, forearms float. Make sure the elbows aren't going higher than the hands and the hands aren't being left behind. And here we go, and lower down. So when the arms come down, the hand and the elbow touch at the same time. And same applies as they lift up. We don't have the one going higher than the other. Good. 3 and lower. Lift for 4 and lower. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to press up into a cobra stretch. So just pushing your tummy away from the floor, but keep the pelvis connected to the ground for an abdominal stretch. We're going to lower the torso down, slide the elbows out in front of you. So the elbows are underneath the shoulders. And we're going to come into a seal stretch. So initially, this is our Sphinx. Tops of the feet are flat on the floor, hands are way out in front. So make sure your elbows are tucked underneath your tummy. Yes, good. And then we're going to lift the elbows off the ground into a seal. Straighten the arms. And then lower the elbows down. And you'll work even harder if you don't quite let the elbows touch the floor. So you're just coming into a hover. Float them up. And then hover them down for 2. Float and hover 3. Float and 4. Float. 5 is like little tricep push-ups. And 6, or extensions. 7, 8, 9. Are we cramping? Hold it up on 10. Keep it lifted. Those arms are quite away in front of you. You can place the weight strong through the left arm and lift the right arm to the sky alongside the ear. So stretch it out to the front and then place that hand back down. Just going straight forwards and up. Other side lifts and lowers. And lift for 3. And if it's too intense, you're welcome to come back onto your Sphinx, especially for the lower back. 4 and 5 and 6, 7. Try not to rotate the body. 8. Think about reaching, rounding through that upper back. 9. And last one, 10. Keep that seal, drop the elbows, then lower the chest, slide the hands in. We pull back into a child's pose, chest over knees, knees together. Feel that rounding over the knees after all of the spine extensions. So as we arch the back and the back bends, now we round over into an anti-back bend. A lot of spine work happening. So we're going to float ourselves up onto our hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, into our tabletop. If you need to grab a knee cushion or some wrist savers, handles, basically, as we come into our cat and cow. We tuck the tailbone around the spine up, squeezing the hips forward. And exhale, arch it down for 1. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down for 2. Inhale, lift. And down for 3. Inhale, lift. And 4. Round it up. And 5. And 6. And 7. 3 more. 8. 9. And last one. And 10. We're going to add a little twist. So we're not doing full thread the needle repetitions. We're just going to place the weight into the right hand, left arm lifts the sky. And then as you exhale, reach that left arm through the gap, coming to lie left shoulder, left ear. Find the rotation. And release, switching sides, left hand to the floor, right arm to the sky, stack the shoulders, open everything up, and then reach that right arm through, coming to lie, right shoulder, right ear, and twist it out. The lying on the shoulder, lying down and through the twist. Yeah, there we go, thanks. And relax. We're going to come back to finish up with 2 more extension exercises, so lying flat on your tummy. The next one can take a little bit of coordination. So we're going to place the hands behind the head, behind the neck. We're going to lift the elbows up high off the floor, and then we're going to reach the arms way forwards first. So we stretch the arms out in front, keeping them floating off the ground. And then we're going to swim them out wide, think snow angel, and then tuck the hands behind the hips, stacking one hand on top of the other and reaching as high up the back as you can. And then we lift the hands, lift the elbows, stretch the hands past the bum, out wide, floating them high off the ground as you can, out to the front, stretch, stretch, stretch out ahead of you, and then hands back behind the head, behind the neck, and then the rest of the elbows down on the ground. We're going to do 5 of those. So making sure you have enough space. So hands begin behind the head and neck. Hands start behind your head. We lift the elbows, float the hands off the head, stretch the arms out in front, swimming breaststroke through the snow, out wide, snow angel, stack the hands on top of each other, reach them as high up the back as you can. It's okay if you touch, and it's okay if they cross over one another. And then we're going to stretch them down past the bum, out wide, reversing your snow angel, reversing your breaststroke. Reach it out in front of you before you come back, hands behind the head, and then lower the elbows down. So don't forget that forwards reach on your way back behind your head. We lift the elbows up, stretch the arms front out in front of you, straighten the elbows, and then with wide arms, we reach them out to the sides, behind the back. The goal is to keep the hands as high off the floor as you can, as high off the body as you can, if it can. And then lift the hands up, stretch them out wide, big circles, reconnect thumbs out in front, and then hands behind the head, and lower the elbows down. 3 more. Lift the elbows up, stretch the arms out in front of you, keep the head on the floor. It's all about the arms and shoulders. Head stays down, stretch them out wide, hands on top of each other. And if you need to rest there, you're welcome to. And then lift the hands, reach them out wide. Float, 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 hands behind the head, and then lower the elbows down. Try not to be too sudden with your movements. Find smoothness and flow. We lift the elbows up, stretch the arms forwards to begin, then out wide, big circle around the body. Hands on top of each other behind the back. Slide them right up as high as you can. One day we'll reach between the shoulder blades. Yes, that's beautiful. And then stretch them all the way out wide, out to the front, and then behind the head. And then drop the elbows, and I think we've got 1 more, maybe 2, but 1 is good. Lift the elbows, stretch them out in front of you. Keep the head down, shoulders away from the ears as much as possible. Extra problem to solve, to work around. Hands up behind the back, stacking them, lifting them, and then stretch them down past the hips, out wide, trying to make those arms extra long as they stretch out to the front. Hands behind the head, and then lower the elbows down. Good. And then we're going to go straight into the leg exercise. So you can place one hand on top of the other underneath the forehead, head rests on the floor. We're going to do 10 leg extensions, literally just lifting the thigh off the ground, thinking about activating from your glutes, a little bit from your lower back, but keeping everything else totally still and steady. So head rests on the floor. We squeeze the left thumb to lift the left thumb off the ground. Notice that your body wants to rotate, but we're going to focus on not rotating. It's just lifting straight up. And then lower that left leg down. We go same side, left leg again, squeezes up, keeping the knee as straight as you can, keeping the pelvis even, and lower down. Squeeze up for 3, and lower. Squeeze up for 4, and lower. And 5, 6, 7. Lift that thigh, 8. Belly button to spine, 9, especially if you're taking strain in the lower back. Lift and hold it up on 10 for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down, switching sides. Double check pelvis is even, no rotation. And right leg lifts for 10. And lower. Squeeze it up through that hip. 9. Notice if the other leg is pushing. 8. Mine keeps wanting to. I have to tell it to stop every time. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And on the last one, lift and hold it up for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Keep the toes, keep the knees together. Hands next to the chest. Pull yourself back into a child's pose, rounding over the knees. Feel that roundness relieving after all that back extension work. We're going to round forwards through your cat so you can tuck the toes under the heels to lift up into a downwards facing dog. Heels sink down to the ground, stretching out the hammies and calves. We're going to take the right foot to the front of the mat. Just coming into a lunge, supported with both hands. Not too hectic, sinking the hips down. If you want to drop that back knee, you're welcome to drop that back knee, but the hands are connected. But if it feels better to not be connected, that's also fine. Just makes the next part a little easier. So we've done a lot of back extension. So I don't want to spend too much time doing more back extensions with these, but we're going to lift the hips. So straightening out the front leg, lift the toes towards the face, and keep the fingertips connected to the ground. So coming into like a pyramid pose. And both feet are facing the front of the mat. And what happens here is that we get a nice rounding through the spine, kind of continuing that child's pose / cat rounding. And then we sink down, swap the legs, left foot to the front, right foot to the back, get that little sink into that little lunge. Just on our way to that hamstring stretch in our pyramid. And then we straighten the front leg, lift the toes towards the face, rounding the spine out, nose towards the knee. Shifting forwards, right foot to the front of the mat, hanging out in a forward fold. And then we tuck the tailbone round and roll your way all the way up to standing, squeezing the hips forwards, stacking one vertebra on top of the other, making your way all the way up to standing. And that is us done for today. Well done. Good stuff. Let me do the buttons.